points that need to be heard. So my name is Dr. Mardell Gamble. There is a letter that went out on Facebook that a lot of people may have read. I tend to keep a low profile, and this has busted it right out of the water. But just to let you know who I am a fellowship-trained emergency physician. I have worked at the Foothills Medical Center for the last 17 years, and prior to that, I was trained at one of the best emergency centers in Kingston, Ontario at Queen's University. I have been a STARS flight physician as well, and I have been a researcher that has been recognized for my work. I treat patients of all ages, from children to adults, and my career spans the treatment of respirology, conditions of the lung, the heart, toxicology, traumatology, and also pediatrics, just to name a few. So I came here today as a doctor, and I come as a very concerned citizen, and more importantly, I have decided that I'm going to be the voice of our children. For as corny as that sounds, our children can't speak for themselves, yet they are the ones that will be most vulnerable to all the potential health effects that need to be recognized. Now, I need to be clear, I'm not saying no to gravel. I'm not, and I know that sounds crazy because we need gravel to survive, but it needs to be done in a conscious manner that mitigates the known and real health effects that will be posed to our community. And as much as I believe in Rockyview County tonight, we are here because we are Bearspaw residents, and there is this potential for 600 acres of gravel that will loom over our head to potentially go in, and none of us want that to happen.
So are you speaking about one gravel pit only?
I'm speaking about all, because we are a community.
I'd like to have my turn
Can
after
she
you.
finish?
Okay?
Yeah, just let me finish, but we'll all speak. Absolutely. I'm speaking for all of us, because we're all connected, we are all community, and together we are strength. That is important that we recognize that, and I don't want one person to be affected negatively if it can be prevented. So I'm just going to start out by just telling you that Alberta Health Services, the people that have been consultants to this document, have no medical experience. I'll leave it at that. I have contacted the medical officer health, and I will be in communication with them, and if I need to go above that, I will. Thankfully, 17 years provides a lot of ability to have a lot of long-term relationships that will serve. I just want you to know about the health effects and the fact that they need to be mitigated. They can talk about taking gravel away and crushing it somewhere else. That will not be the right answer. 500 tandem loads of trucks a day, one every 45 seconds on roads not built for those trucks. I have, in 21 years of experience, never experienced where a gravel truck has been in contact with a residential vehicle where the residential vehicle will survive. And if they do, it's not everybody in the truck, I can tell you that. And there are school buses that travel those roads every single day. And I have told parents their children have died, something I hope nobody ever has to do, and it never gets easier. So the trauma is a real risk. Taking it and moving it cannot be the answer. The second thing is crystalline silica, the dirty word that nobody wants to talk about. It is the PM 2.5 particle that everybody speaks about because it is the one with the known health risk that gets emitted to the air. What you need to know, it comes indoors. It permeates your heating and your cooling systems. It doesn't go away. It sits and it accumulates over time on inanimate objects such as playground structures, cars, you name it. If you can sit on it, there will be silica sitting on that surface. I think of our schools most affected, that where we have children at the Bearspaw Christian School and our other public school, which is only 6 or 7 kilometers away, the children that are going to be in that environment. So that needs to be known. So what can it do to your health? It permeates your lungs and it stays there. You can't expel it. It never leaves. It has direct toxic effects in your respiratory system. Furthermore, it causes what's called endothelial damage and it accelerates atherosclerosis. What does that mean? It causes heart disease and it causes strokes, irregular heartbeats, silicosis, which is an incurable progressive lung disease, lung cancer. It can liberate latent tuberculosis, and it's now being connected to autoimmune diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis, just to name a few. So the health effects, they're real. They're real, and I think we need to know about that. Our children will be the ones most affected because based on concentrations that are in the air that you and I are exposed to, children based on their body surface and their percentages that they have regarding their small size, they get more. Technically, they get more. It's just the way that they are. And the closer you live, the higher the toxicity. It's just a fact. So they talk about mitigation, and I think that's a big thing. The first thing that's going to mitigate is distance. It's just a simple man's formula. The further away, the less the effect. Mitigation is going to be critical as a part of this. They talk about thresholds within the document. Not going to cut it. If you look at the literature, the well-documented science that exists within the literature, one study out of Harvard that spanned 6 cities from 1995 to 2012, 14% increase in death from natural causes related to PM 2.5, 24% increase in cardiovascular and cardiopulmonary diseases, 37% increase in lung cancer. So that's real. Further to that, if you look at the oncology, the Lancet Oncology, a very well-respected journal, it is declared unequivocally it is a known carcinogen. Furthermore, they say even at levels that are lower than those that they support, health risks are real. Also, a study published in Alberta, our home province, said that workers are overexposed to the current levels, and it is underreported how sick they are. That would be a simple man's equation that the current levels are not sufficient to protect us. If you get exposed and you get sick, that's not okay. It's that simple. The only safe threshold, it unequivocally, if you look at the medical literature, is nothing. So mitigation is going to be absolutely critical. And in our case, with the size of the pit that could be the second largest in Canada, distance. It can never go in. Plain simple fact. It has to be that way. Other parts of the community, I would recommend the same, that we have to look at distance. Distance will be your best friend. Mitigation is going to be absolutely critical. As I said to Dominic, I just told them when we moved in this community, we had an implied social contract. We bought here for a reason, right? Everybody bought Bearspaw for a reason. If you put in a 600-acre gravel pit right across the street, that violates the social contract, pure and simple. And as any of you, if you come to my emergency department, you will get the good faith that I will care for you as if you were one of my family. It is my simple standard. If I wouldn't do my family, what I wouldn't do it to my family, I'm sure as hell not going to do it to you. And we must ask our council and Dominic and the planners putting together the ARP that they act in good faith, that they will represent and safeguard our health as if it was their own. Thank you. That's it.